Hi everyone, hope you're ready for today's kettlebell workout. We're going to do a circuit, but in between our rounds of our circuit we're going to be practicing one of the most complex kettlebell movements, and that is the kettlebell snatch. Let's get started with the warm-up first. We're going for some star jumps. And moving on to some heel kicks just to mobilize the quads. Bring your heels up to your bum. And now moving on to lunges, reaching both arms up when you get to the top, trying not to lean back or stick your chest up to the air. Try to keep your body neutral and reach your arms overhead. Now when we lunge, we're going to start to twist over the front leg. So you turn your torso, reach your arms over the front leg. If you're stepping forward with your right leg, then you turn your body to the right. If you're stepping with your left, you turn your body to the left. Now we're going to move on to some press up steps. So in your press up position, bracing your core and keeping your hips level, taking one step forward and one step back. 5 steps with your right hand and then 5 steps with your left hand. Now for a bit of mobilizing, we're going to sit in our cross-legged position, keeping the chest over the hips, not leaning back. We're going to reach one arm up, reach over to one side until your elbow touches the floor, and then reach over to the other side. We're going to do 2 of each of these, and then we're going to start that warm-up circuit again. So now we're back to our star jumps. And now onto our heel kicks again. Now lunges, starting with the reach overhead. And moving on to twisting over the front leg. Now it's time for those press up steps again, staying braced and stable in your torso. And now it's time for our sit and reach, leaning over to one side and then the other, keeping it controlled. And we're going to do one more round just to make sure we're super warm by the time we start. So back to our star jumps. And on to our heel kicks. And our lunge with reach. And our lunge with twist now. And now those press up steps. Let's make sure the shoulders are warm by the end of this warm up. And lastly, we've got our sit and reach again, 2 each side, nice and controlled. Okay, hope you're feeling ready to start. If not, pause the video and do whatever else you need to do. Otherwise, we're going to get ready for our first exercise in 15 seconds, which is our high row. You're going to deadlift your kettlebell off the floor, and as you use that momentum standing up, you're going to pull your elbow high, pull the kettlebell up the middle of your body in one dynamic whole body movement. Alternate arms each time. Really drive through the floor, make that fast dynamic movement, rip that kettlebell off the floor. Next is our reverse lunge to press. So if you're holding the kettlebell in your right hand, step back with the right leg. When your knee touches the floor, you're going to do a shoulder press with your right arm. So all on one side of the body. Drive yourself out of the lunge with your front leg. Push the floor away. Swapping side now, so if you're holding it in your left arm, you'll step back with your left leg, drive the weight up with your left arm, and then it'll be your right leg that pushes you up and out of the lunge. Don't rush these, treat these as two separate movements. Now laying down with the kettlebell in both arms, you're going to lower it just above your forehead and then press away. Notice how the elbows stay pointing up to the ceiling the whole time. All the movement occurs at the elbow joint so that we can focus on the triceps. And now on to our swing to squat. We've done this before. You perform the kettlebell swing, catch the weight at the top and hug it close to your chest and sit into your squat. Foot position for both of these exercises should be outside hip width with a slight outward turn to your toes. The swing is very much about tipping over and powering the weight up with the hips, and the squat is very much about staying upright and using your quads to sit down as vertically as possible. Okay, so you've completed round one. We're now going to have 2 minutes of practicing the kettlebell snatch before we do another round of that circuit. To practice the kettlebell snatch, you need enough space to lift your weight over your head. If you have a low ceiling, it might be best to do this outside. If you don't have the space to practice this kettlebell snatch, or you don't have the right weight, then it might be best to practice your deadlifts or your kettlebell cleans instead. But the snatch, as you can see, is about pulling the weight up overhead in one motion. We're going to break it down into separate movements now. So to start with, we're going to do 3 reps of each, and beginning with just a one arm swing. And this is about building up that momentum and using the hips. And now we're going to start to do our high row like we did in our first exercise, pulling the elbow high, and then we're going to carry on with that pull to lift that weight overhead. Just keep pulling the weight up and then punch the arm out straight and the kettlebell should flip over. We're going to go back to our swings again, get that momentum, get that power from the hips, and our high pull, lifting the elbow up, driving that weight up in a straight line, and then we're going to keep pulling and push the arm out straight. We're going to change arm now. We're going to do our swings first of all. Keep your arm relaxed, and now we're going to start to pull it close, lift the kettlebell close to the body, and now we're going to keep pulling and push up again. Roughly 3 reps of each movement, lifting up close to the body, punching up straight overhead. Back to our swings again, and then onto our high elbow, pulling that kettlebell close to the body, and then keep pulling and push that weight overhead. Try to have that confidence to really go for it. Now we're going to try just one of each rep. So 1 swing, 1 pull, 1 snatch. 1 swing, 1 pull, 1 snatch. See if you can get in that flow of just using that hip momentum to do one movement after the other. If you don't feel comfortable for this yet, keep doing 3 of each. And remember, if you're not ready for this or you don't have the space, practice your deadlifts or your cleans just so you keep moving for this 2-minute period and you're still working out. We're going to change over to the other arm again. So 1 swing, 1 high row, and 1 snatch. All on the left arm now, just working through that 1 swing, 1 high row, 1 snatch. Keep trying to pull the kettlebell close to the body so that it moves up in one straight line. Okay, so our 2 minutes of snatches is coming to an end. We're now going to move back onto our circuit again, so be ready to start with your high rows, pushing through the legs, driving that arm up high. Hopefully the arm doesn't have to work too hard on these, it should be mostly the legs driving this weight up to this point. And moving on to our reverse lunge to shoulder press again. The arm that presses the weight is on the same side as the leg that steps back.
Go somewhere new, and I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current till the waves flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves.
And now we're going to do the other side. So we're pushing with the other arm and we're stepping back with the other leg. And next will be our tricep press, keeping the upper arm strict and lowering the weight just down to above your forehead and then pushing away. Notice how there's no swinging backwards and forwards with my arm.
Trying to step back and see the view from above, 'cause I know that nothing lasts forever. And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current till the winds flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Shockwaves with you.
And moving back to the lower body with our swing to squat. First movement is very hip focused, the second movement is very knee focused. Swing, catch and sit down into your squat. Good work guys, we've got 30 seconds rest again and then it's back to 2 minutes of practicing your snatches. If you're very comfortable with your snatches already, or you're working on those cleans or deadlifts instead, use this 2-minute time to just get as many reps done as you can. Push yourself as hard as you can, make sure you're tired and aching by the end of it. If you're using this for technical practice, then that is absolutely fine. We're going to go through the same breakdown as we did before, starting with 3 reps each of each part of the movement and then moving on to 1 rep each. So choose which arm you'd like to start with, and we'll start with 3 swings, keeping the arm relaxed, keeping it straight, making that momentum from the hips. And now going to pull close to the body, lift the elbow, get that weight to move up, and now we're going to keep moving up and push the arm out straight. All in one smooth movement if we can. Back to our swings. And then onto the rows again, lifting the elbow. And it's time to change to the other arm, so straight back in with just the single arm swings. And then onto the rows, lifting the elbow, pull the weight close. And using that pull now to push the arm up straight into your snatch. And back to our swings again. And onto the high rows, pull it close. And press up straight at the top onto your snatch again. And now we're going to go into 1 rep of each, so 1 swing, 1 row, 1 snatch. Doesn't matter if you're not in time with me on the video, just keep going for 1 swing, 1 row, 1 snatch if you feel ready for that yet. The trick to the kettlebell snatch is to not hesitate when the kettlebell turns over and lands on your wrist. If you stop your momentum, then you're likely to slam the kettlebell into your wrist, and also to catch the weight low and then do a shoulder press to get it overhead. Whereas what we want is that smooth motion all the way up to the top. Easier said than done, of course, but just try not to hesitate. Remember, this is aiming for 1 smooth motion, unlike our clean and press that we've done previously. Keep practicing guys, we're nearly there. Just keep working on your technique. And rest there guys, we've got 15 seconds and then we've got 1 more round of our circuit to go, starting with our high rows. Give it everything you've got now. If you've got the choice for a heavier weight, give it a try if you can. Make sure you leave nothing in the tank after this circuit. And now onto our reverse lunge to shoulder press on one side. And changing side. And onto that tricep press next, keeping the control, keeping it isolated on the arms. And one more exercise to go. Give it everything you've got. Get as many reps done as you can. Finish strong, guys. Okay, well done. We've got our 30 seconds rest. Well deserved after that workout. And then we're going to start on our stretches. Starting with our laying quad stretch. So we're laying on our front. Push your hips into the floor. Keep your knee on the floor and pull your heel to your bum. Support your head to one side with your other arm underneath it. And changing sides, turn your head to the other side, grab the other leg and keep the knee on the floor. Remember to keep squeezing your glutes and pushing your hips into the floor. And now to move on to your pigeon stretch, bring your leg across your body, rest your weight on your knees and shin, and hold. And change side. And while you're holding this, guys, just a reminder, if you have any feedback for me on what you'd like to see in these videos, just let me know by sending me a message or a comment. If you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, you can contact me on either one of those. It'd be great to see if these movements that we cover suit the range of equipment and space you've got, whether you'd like something that is a bit more varied or a bit more straightforward. Moving on to child's pose now. Put the knees far enough apart that you can sit your hips back and down, reach your arms out in front and drop your chest to the floor. Sitting upright now in your cross-legged position, reach one arm up overhead, bend the elbow behind the head and pull across to stretch your triceps. And change side. And moving on to our sideways lean that we did in our warm-up. I'm going to hold it for longer this time. Great way of stretching through your lats into the side of your lower back and into your hips as well. Try to keep your knees on top of your shoes. And change side. Relax there, guys. Well done. I will see you again soon. Have a great day.